Round 1. Heroes. What is the best way to play heroes? Hopefully Ziad will be showing us the way as we are playing against, I don't know, is Unicorn teched into this deck? We have a Zerun, Unicorn, bunch of hand traps. Let's find out what he's playing against.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Hajime. We have our Musketeer Unicorn, which Unicorn plus another hand trap, which you can normal summon, is full Fiendsmith combo. So I'm assuming, do we max C now, or do we wait for them to activate, commit to a special summon with the Musketeer Birth, or the activation of the Requiem? We're waiting. We're waiting for that commitment to the Requiem activating. Now think about this. If you activate Birth, they chain Max C. You could then chain Requiem to the Max C so they draw one less card, right? They're still not Max C-ing. What are we holding the Max C for next game? Birth? Hello? Why are we not Max C-ing? And why do we stop? We just stopped with this. This is really wild to me that we did not Max C. Huh. Wow. Okay, and Frost Dracony felt something was up. He was sussed out. We do have the ability with Unicorn. Do not look down upon this. The Birth is immensely powerful. If I were to activate a card like the Fiendsmith Tract, which adds a card then discards, guess what happens? The Birth will be on the higher chain link to your Lurie activating on chain link 1. You're gonna banish the Lurie face down. This counters and cancels out the Fiendsmith engine if they're relying on the Tract. Now, unfortunately, Hero's not having a good play here, simply passing. We have a bunch of back row that's usable, though. Requiem again. Surely, we're going to max C now, right? Well, now if we max C, the Unicorn will look at our extra deck, so I guess we're going to wait even more into the Silhouette Rabbit. What the heck? This is a magical Musketeer deck. Ain't no way. What'd she do? She is going to, if you activate a spell or trap card from your hand, she allows you to activate a spell trap card from your hand during either player's turn. If a spell trap card's activated in this column, you could special summon from your deck, and we do have the angel statue in the same column. We're gonna flip her down. Well, because part of flipping her down includes drawing during the end phase, Ash Blossom will negate. Nicely done. And by activating the Zerun, double effects are about to happen here. The Silhouette Rabbit will pop a back row, as the Magical Musketeer could summon from the deck, but we're now under Max C, so maybe we're gonna say no to that. No, we're not saying no. I'm still special summoning from the deck. Droplet says hell no. We're gonna send our favorite contact to negate just one card here. We are actually negating the ability of summoning from the deck even though we're under the Max C. We do not want that additional summon. We are afraid of getting lethal damaged here. Musketeer Max. Now the Musketeer Max is a very powerful effect. This will activate one of the effects. Add a magical musket with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, which is none. So that's not good. Or you could special summon magical muskets with different names from your deck up to the number of spell and trap cards your opponent controls, which is 1. Do we do it? We are special summoning. Under that Max C, we do not care. 5,700 damage. Equipping the Requiem onto the magical musket Doctor. What the heck? Reborning from Engrave the Engraver, 8,100 damage on the field, and just like that, Magical Musket lethal under Max C. Magical Musket, this is the way. They're all light fiends. They could all go into the Requiem. You have to activate something. So, if there is a large delay before this turns yellow, yellow means they're resolving the card. If it's not yellow for long enough, that means it's asking you if you would like to ash your own card. And Ziad, is that how you read the ash? Is that what you were saying the situation was? It took a while before the chain turned yellow? That's what I would say, right? So we are going to Here Lives Someone from the deck, Veiler. Ziad says yes, that's exactly how it's done. So you gotta pay attention to yellow. You would think you'd want to preemptively Magna Hut banish the Malicious before it activates because its cost is to banish itself from the grave. You cannot respond with Magna Hut to the activation of Malicious, but by knowing that they're gonna go for the Cross Crusader play first, we held on to it, we took that gamble, and it worked out. Fusion Destiny is going to send from the deck to the grave another Malicious. Alongside that will be the Denier, which can return the banished Malicious back into the deck here. As, there you go, even though you played well with that Bestial, it now does not matter, as we're going to use Cross Crusader, attribute off the Malicious to search our deck for a Plasma. We're now going to use Denier reborning itself to then return back the Malicious that's banished, to reuse the Malicious Engrave, banishing itself to come forth and summon again our other copy of Malicious, as we now make the Destiny Hero Plasma. Plasma is going to give the Magna Hut the good suck, boosted up to 3150 attack. And this works exactly like a skill drain. If you activate a monster effect on the field, and then the monster leaves the field after activation, it will not be negated. But otherwise, if the monster's still there, it is negated just like a skill drain. Let's go. How do we deal with the skill drain Plasma? Jerusalem is a great way to deal with the Plasma, as it does not have an effect on field that it has to worry about. It just has to be sent to the graveyard, then it will target the Plasma and send it to the grave. Perfect. We're going to chain Fiendsmith Sanct, which is going to be summoning a token onto the field that you could turn into the Requiem. Jerusalem, say goodbye to the Denier. We're going to link off into our Requiem. Requiem is not affected by the Plasma in any way whatsoever, as we now summon from the deck the Engraver. Engraver and Jerusalem are going to link off into the Moon of the Closed Heaven to now trigger that Jerusalem to send the Plasma to the graveyard. Be gone with you. We still have the effect of non-target popping a card in the field, plus the Impermanence. So double disruption, but when do we use it? Little Knight is a problem, as the Little Knight activates to banish away the Cross Crusader, now turning herself into a Typhon. We can pop the Typhon, or all right, we'll in response to it activating, we'll pop ourselves plus the Typhon, and then we're going to come back to the next turn. And now the Impermanence will be the final resort of disruption, which we don't have to use it on anything. For our turn, DPE, back on the field we go. The Typhon, of course, states that it can't summon for the rest of the turn, thus the Unicorn is no good. We have dead Magical Musket cards in hand. As we now trigger the DPE to come back to the next turn, with no cards in the field, we can now use our Hero Lives to summon a Stratos in the deck. Liquid Soldier on summon can reborn a monster from Engrave. Shadow Mist on special summon will activate to search our deck for our Mass Change. 4,200 damage. We're now going to Palmerize our field, 2 bodies into our Sunrise. Sunrise will be searching for our Miracle Fusion. We cannot trigger the other effect of Liquid Soldier. We can only use one effect of it once per turn. As the Miracle Fusion now fuses with the graveyard to come forth and summon. 2,100, is this enough? 7,400 onto the field. Searching our deck for the favorite contact. To battle phase we go, because we have the Mass Change for the additional damage. And just like that, after 7,400 damage, follow up with the Mass Change for game. Dark Law is here. Now, cards like Dark Law are really good in this Fiendsmith meta. Any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead. So do consider Heroes 1-1. And we do happen to be playing against a Fiendsmith deck. Fiendsmith tracked, searching for any Light Fiend. Searching for any magical musket you want. That is nuts. We're going to be searching for the Fiendsmith Sanct, which will be played in the same column as the Starfire to trigger her effect to summon from the deck. And now we're going to turn the Sanct token into the Requiem. Ziad, are you just making reads on everything, huh? You're just going to hold on to that Ash? Sure. As we now make our Fiendsmith Sequence. Sequence will now be fusing with the graveyard, returning 3 to make our Desiree. With our Desiree, we're going to use the Tracked Engrave Banishing to fuse with the field to come forth and summon into Lacrima. Now, Lacrima could also reborn the Desiree, but better to reborn the Engraver here, as we could also make a Caesar in addition to our Desiree. With the Sequence Engrave, we're equipping it onto the Desiree, making it untargetable, and giving it a double non-targeting negate. Well, it's not 2 different negates, it's 1 negate, but up to 2 cards in the field. So with that, we have negate up to 2 cards with 1 disruption, and then double special summon activation negate. That is going to be a triple disruption plus a maxi and a Call to the Grave. Fusion Destiny, we're going to Wave King High Caesar. Negate. We're going to Call to the Grave, finger the Engraver, because we want to have an efficient droplet. We are not going to send a Call to the Grave anyway. Sure, we want to just see what they would do. By sending a monster, it ensures that they are not able to chain to the droplet. Now, Let's say you activate Droplet and you send just a monster here. That means they can't chain a monster effect to the Droplet, but they would be able to use Call by the Grave to target a monster in their graveyard, and then Desiree could chain to the Call by the Grave to negate the Droplet, but because a spell and a monster has been sent, we cannot chain anything to the Droplet. Double negate, say goodbye to our triple disruption play. Now, there is a secret form of disruption hiding on the Desiree. If the Desiree is sent to the graveyard, it will activate to send a card on the field to the grave. But that's going to be completely up to the opponent to trigger. We are going to Ash Blossom negate the Maxi. Now, it's worth noting, we held that Ash Blossom. We did not use it for anything on their turn. We saved it for their Maxi. Call by the Grave, Finger. And if this is similar to the first game where Ziad said, I was confident that they had an Ash Blossom because there were delays in response to their own card effects before the chain would turn yellow. You can see the chain is not yellow here. It maybe Ziad made another read on there are unnecessary delays to their chains before it turns yellow. Maybe they have a Max C. Thus, I'm going to hold on to my feet for the next turn to negate that Max C, which it got fingered anyway. Negate. Now, from here, what do we have as our play? We do have to be careful about the Desiree. As we summon from the deck our Malicious, we're going to use the Denier Reborning itself from a grave. We are taking that Max Seed challenge. Can we win in this turn? There is no way, not through the effect of Desiree sending any card in the field to the grave, as we make the Cross Crusader. Reborning from engrave our Denier. We are going to Cross Crusader, Tribute off Denier to search our deck for a Vian. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. As we normal that Vian, send from the deck our Shadow Mist, which will trigger to search our deck for an Honest Neos, which will boost up any monster by 2,500. Vian is going to banish. Is this a Trinity Crush? No way. Malicious will banish from the graveyard to summon from the deck a copy of itself as we fuse not 2, but 3 bodies for Vision Hero Trinity. At 5,000 attack, boost, Vision Hero Trinity, crush for 7,300 damage, attack again. Lacrima's gonna return back into the deck or extra deck, burn for 1,200, it does not matter, lethal damage. You cannot leave monsters in attack position against heroes, not against Jaden. Very well done. Ziad versus Frost Dracony, both of you are amazing, love it, rooting for both of your decks. Let's go. Ziad versus Nicky Boy, begin. Bonfire, adding from the deck our Poplar. We are ready with the Ash and our Maxi. Maxi, in response to the Poplar, special summoning from the hand. We do have Emergency to quickly summon from the deck. Nothing as the Ash Blossom negates. You will not be setting up your Rescue Ace plays, which we could have summoned a Turbulence. Turbulence could have then set up multiple back row cards. Now, what do we do from here as we're under the effect of Max C? We can't just end on no disruption, right? We may as well just surrender. We're in a really bad spot. As the Poplar being sent to the grave equips itself into the back row, Original Sinful send the Poplar to summon from the deck our Hydrant. Hydrant activating to search our deck for our Turbulence, as we are now going to be linking off our field into a Little Knight. Can we afford to be giving them this many draws? Well, what are our options as we summon our Turbulence? Turbulence is now ready. So what you would have to do, I would maybe encourage you to imperm early because they are under the effect of Max C. Now, if you imperm, it's no good because the Little Knight will chain banish it. Otherwise, if you impermed early, they'd have to special into a Promethean, you draw another card, then reborn the Turbulence, then you draw another card. This impermanence could have been a pot of greed. Set up to 4 cards. And maybe instead of draw 2, we just hold on to the impermanence to be used next turn. Maybe it will be good. I guess you want to imperm the Little Knight early, possibly. Now, what are our forms of disruption as we're ready to imperm to turn off the Little Knights? We're not going to count the Little Knight. We have 3 forms of disruption. We could flip a monster face down, we could destroy a monster, and we could negate a monster. Negate the Little Knight, as we still have our 3 other forms of disruption. Hero Lives activating a summon from the deck. Our Stratos on summon, search in our deck for another hero. We are not going to use Contain to negate it. Varus will be discarding a hero to special summon itself onto the field, activating as the Shadow Mist triggers alongside it to search our deck for a hero. When are we flipping down? When are we negating? When are we destroying? We're going to normal summon Stratos with the very powerful effect of non-target. Destroy 2 other cards on the field. Now, we're attempting to contain the Stratos, but if we chain a mash change, that non-target destroy 2 becomes destroy 3 cards. We could also chain increase. Increase or mash change is going to completely counter the contain. It's a really bad spot for heroes. That's it. There's no Stratos to negate. We know our 3 other back row cards are about to be destroyed, so we have to activate all of them. We're going to destroy the Ferris. We're going to emergency summon from the deck. We're going to put the Ferris in grave for a mash change, and then say goodbye to our rescue. Dark Law now. Cards stay on the field until Chain Link 1 resolves. So if on a higher Chain Link, Dark Law is summoned, any card sent to the graveyard is now banished instead. The extinguish effect in grave of banishing itself to reuse a card in grave, no longer going to be usable. Say goodbye, banish the rescue, banished our entire back row. As the turbulence will be triggering since you destroyed another card that we control, we now get to say goodbye to your Dark Law. We're going to use Book of Eclipse. Does that even protect it? Target a card in the field, destroy it. It will be face down when you destroy it now. Okay, sure. I guess we want to stop the preventer from preventing something as we say goodbye to Dark Law. Sure. As we summon the Vian, we made sure that the preventer would not be activatable to flip a card face down, so this was our opportunity to do so. As the Vian sends to the deck, as we now search for our polymerization, as we banish for the malicious, as we now further link this up into a Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader is going to be causing a surrender. Now, the Cross Crusader does not state it has to summon the monster where it points to, because I was thinking maybe you'd want to extinguish that, but it would not actually be a good play unless you wanted to stop the other effect of reborning from engrave, which it actually happens on summon. So it wouldn't stop the reborn, but you could stop its effect to tribute the monster to then search your deck. All right, what is going on here? As we send a card from our hands to the grave to come forth and summon our Diablo Star against no disruption in sight. Get ready for a full combo. We have the ability to flip a monster face down. We could destroy a monster. We can negate a monster. We could banish a monster. We can negate a monster 4 more times. So that's going to give us 8 total disruption, plus a Sylvia negating anything, giving us 9 disruptions. With 9 disruptions, we also have a Max C against a 6-card hand. Is that fair? Let's find out. 9 disrupt plus Max C. We're going to chain Max C to the hero lives, attempting to summon from the deck, which means we're not negating it. That's at least something, right? As we summon a Stratos. Stratos on summon will very easily be negated by the Apollo USA, dropping us down to our 8 disruption, that is, from 9. Sure. Triple Tactics talent activatable. Sylvia with the Omni negate. Negate anything. Negating nothing, as the Call by the Grave is going to be fingering the Sylvia. Thus, the Triple Tactics talent will be taking away the Apollo USA. Is that what's happening here? Say goodbye, Sylvia. Yoink! As we take the Apollo, as we now drop from 7 disruption to 4. 4 disruption left. We're going to Ferris summon, equip the increase to come forth and link off into the Infernal Devicer. All under Max C. We've drawn a ton of cards here. Ziad, can you go for game? We're going to Malicious Banish to summon a Malicious from the deck. Draw again. Emergency is going to get the Preventer out. Preventer with the ability to flip a monster on the field face down. Now, you have to understand that the Little Knight is pinning down the Apollo. Think of an image of her on top of her. She cannot activate without getting banished. Thus, she cannot negate. She's going to try. She's going to get banished. Little Knight, Manish. The Apollo, no negate for you. So it was more so not only taking away the Apollo, but also forcing out the banishment of Little Knight. Thus, we only had 3 disruption. We only have 2 more disruption left. Rescue is going to be used like a DD Crow, but instead we're going to steal the monster from the graveyard that they tried to reborn with the Liquid Soldier. Now we have Contain and Extinguish. And we have Nibiru now. Contain will be containing the increase. Not only is it negated, it also can't attack. It also can't be used for a link, fusion, nothing. We just have Extinguish left. That's it. Summon Malicious, as we can't link off with the increase. We have the Cross Crusader on summon, reborning the Malicious. Extinguish away the Cross Crusader before it tributes off. We still have a Nibiru. We did draw into a Drone Lockbird. Maxian. Yeah, that's what Maxi does. Damn, Maxi. All right, let's do it. What are you doing, bro? Setting, Shadow Mist, and passing. Huh? That is not the hero way. Malicious can't do anything. Liquid Soldier, reborn from the grave, or when sent to the grave for a fusion, does something. The Shadow Mist, if sent to the grave or special summon, does something. Brick, 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 triple brick in the hand. But we do have Ash Blossom and Maxi. Let's see what's good. Hopefully something's good. As we Poplar, searching for our original Sinful. Poplar, link this off into our link Rebo to trigger the Poplar to equip itself in the background to be used with the original Sinful. And this is when we can expect the Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom attempts to negate as the crossout designate. Negates the Ash Blossom. Not today. Can we lethal in one turn? Is this the way? Can we push through the Maxi? I talk about this all the time. You want to protect your Maxi with Ash Blossom. If they have a Call by the Grave, you want them to finger your Ash instead of your C. So throw your Ash out first and then follow up with the Maxi. As we're now going to make a Moon of the Closed Heaven as we then go into the Fiendsmith Requiem. Fiendsmith Requiem is going to be jumping off the field, possibly into a Maxi. Yes, indeed. Now, there is a Droll in Lockbird, and the Fiendsmith engine can make great plays under Droll if your first play isn't Engraver Search for Attract, which it's not. And just like that, we're about to make them great plays. We're going to Engraver equip the Requiem, send the Requiem plus the card in the field, prevent her Banish to come forth and summon. We can still make a Sequence. Sequence is going to be triggering the effect of Preventer to reborn a banished monster. Back in the field, Hydrant. Hydrant can't search, but Sequence could still fuse with the Grave. Fusing with the Grave into Lacrima. Now Lacrima is essentially 3,600 damage. So look at this as an extra 1,200. So we're at 4,800 damage here. As we reborn the Engraver, still not enough. That would have been 6,600 damage. We need 8K. Promethean Princess is here. That's game. That's it. That's over 8,000. Even without the Preventer, that is enough for game. And just like that, Droll in Lockbird is a new MVP card that you should be using. If you can make great plays under Maxi or Full Loss after you Droll yourself, you have to be playing the Droll. So think what happens if you Droll yourself. Can you still make great plays? If so, play it.